Sometimes its music does not simply play, it erupts, shakes the ground you stand on, burns into your mind, and scars your soul forever. These are not concerts. They're rituals. Moments where time stood still, where legends bled, where crowds didn't just hear, they saw something unreal. Tonight, we journey deep into the greatest rock live performances of all time. The world had been shattered. Famine, war, silence, and then Queen emerged on stage at Wembley Stadium. 20 minutes. That was all it took.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have had a bit of a complaint about the noise.
Freddie Mercury, resplendent in a white tank top, before 72,000 and millions more watching across the world, and let loose with a voice that tore through the heavens. Not just his voice, it was the manner in which he wielded them all. Like a general of ecstasy amidst a storm. The audience didn't merely applaud, they complied. Radio Gaga, we are the champions. The iconic AO. This wasn't a concert. This was deity in the making. Woodstock was not only a festival, but a cultural revolution. And the closing act was a certain Jimi Hendrix, who gave a performance for the ages. His cover of The Star-Spangled Banner was an epic moment of distortion and emotion that distilled the angst of the late 60s. Supported by his raw guitar virtuosity, Hendrix remapped what a live show could be. It was fierce, indelible, and deeply personal. In November 1993, only 5 months prior to Kurt Cobain's untimely death, Nirvana made a surprising, drastic move. They laid down their characteristic distortion pedals and discarded the heavy grunge sound that was trademark Nirvana, replacing it with a set that was acoustic, raw, and intensely intimate. This was MTV Unplugged in New York, recorded at Sony Music Studios in Manhattan. But this was not like the previous Unplugged sessions, whereas most bands employed the format to feature acoustic renditions of their largest hits. Nirvana broke from the mold. They played opening with About a Girl, which is one of their earlier, less popular songs, and proceeded to play obscure B-sides and surprise covers of Meat Puppets, David Bowie, and even the classic folk tune, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? The stage was darkly lit, with stargazer lilies, black candles, and a heavy draped backdrop around it, making the whole set look like a funeral. But it wasn't only the imagery, it was the atmosphere. Kurt Cobain's voice, gravelly, creaky, and exposed, pierced more than ever. When he performed Pennyroyal Tea, he played alone, noticeably anxious, almost whispering a few of the lines. And when he set into The Man Who Sold the World, his haunting delivery made it sound like the song had always been his. The emotional peak was at the end with Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Kurt's gaze looked far away.
Where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through.
His vocals quieter and stronger with every verse until that last raw scream.
Night through.
Leaving even the studio crowd speechless. Bruce Springsteen in 1975 was an emerging name in America. A working-class poet with music that incorporated rock, soul, and narrative. But in the UK, he was a secret. When he came to London for his first overseas performance at the Hammersmith Odeon, the pressure was gigantic. Ads tagged him the future of rock and roll, something many in the British media laughed at. But as soon as Springsteen and the E Street Band took the stage, skepticism was overshadowed by wonder. For the next 3 hours, Bruce gave a relentless, passionate, and sincere performance. Tunes such as Thunder Road, Rosalita, and Born to Run weren't merely performed, they were experienced.
Walk from your front porch to my front seat. The door's open, but the ride, it ain't free.
Springsteen's level of energy was limitless. He jumped into the crowd, danced on the stage, and gave every last drop of himself to every lyric. His rapport with the audience was magnetic, sincere, and unforgettable. By night's end, the doubting crowd was on its feet, cheering in gratitude. That performance didn't merely impress, it made Springsteen a world-class entertainer. After that night, he wasn't merely Bruce. He was the boss, a name he'd wear proudly for decades to come. At the height of their powers, Led Zeppelin's three-night stand at Madison Square Garden wasn't just a concert, it was mythology in motion. Captured forever in The Song Remains the Same, Jimmy Page's dragon-suited solos, Plant's thunderous voice, Bonham's storm-like drumming, and Jones's cool precision created an atmosphere electric with danger and glory. When Stairway to Heaven began, time stood still. That night, Zeppelin didn't just play, they ascended into legend. On their Pulse tour, Pink Floyd didn't perform a concert, they built a world. With mind-blowing visuals, lasers, and immersive sound, they played The Dark Side of the Moon in full, placing fans inside the music. But the soul of the night was comfortably numb. Gilmour's soaring solo, lit in ethereal blue, felt like it came from beyond the stars. Precision met emotion in a spectacle that redefined what a rock show could be. Just days after losing his father, Bono stood before 80,000 fans at Slane Castle and poured his soul into every lyric. The show became a homecoming of heart and healing. Kite was a tribute. One became a chorus of unity. And when Where the Streets Have No Name echoed through the Irish hills, it felt like grief transformed into hope. That night, U2 didn't just play, they connected a nation. What makes these performances unforgettable? It's not just the music, it's the moment, the connection, the energy, the chills. These shows didn't just rock, they became legends. Which live rock performance gave you goosebumps? Drop yours in the comments. Let's hear from rock fans around the world. If you love this trip through rock history, like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more epic music moments. Until next time, keep rocking.